So guys, welcome back to the channel. This is the Ian West Network, and today we're going to review the SkullCandy SLYR Pro. I think that's what you say, SLYR? SYLR. I'm going to go ahead and say SLYR, that's what it's called. These headphones are normally about $60 online. I did happen to find them for $24.99 at my local Ross, so if you have a Ross near you, my suggestion is to try out those locations and see if you can find it at your local Ross. Now, what comes with it? It has the 3.5 headphone jack right here, in case anyone is wondering. It does have a USB-C to USB-A cable, and this is a pretty long cable. This is a very, very long cable right here. And if you want to use it for your phone, and your phone is more likely USB-C, especially if you're buying one in the last couple years, if you have a pre-existing USB-C to USB-C cable, it should work with it. But I did notice cheaper USBs didn't really connect to my phone, so you want to use one that probably comes with your carrier. So if you're like a Motorola user, a Samsung user, an Apple user, use that cable that comes with it because it's a better quality cable, and they don't actually give you a USB-C to C inside the box itself. This right here is of course the headset, and I'm going to show you a little bit more about it a little bit later, but it's not a bad headset for what it does, though I do feel like the price tag of $60 should be a little bit lower, probably about $49.99 or even $44.99 would have been more reasonable, because it's not a Bluetooth actual device. It needs to be charged if you use it through USB-C, but you can use it 3.5 headphone jack with no battery charge inside of it. It's weird the way they did it. But anyway, let's get into the review. Let's talk about it. I'm going to repeat a couple things as I go, just in case someone decides to skip. I know I'm a little bit long-winded, but there will be timestamps in the description for anyone that wants to skip forward to a part they want to see, and that's pretty much it. So let's get right into this review. So as you can see, these headphones are actually very, very, very flexible headphones. They don't bend in or anything like that, so, you know, be careful. You don't want to snap them, but, you know, they're pretty flexible. Like, there's a lot of resistance with pulling this back and forth, so it means that it won't really get loose over time. That's my guess. I'm not a huge fan of the cord being shown right here, like exposure to the cord, but if we're being completely honest here, this is more so of a headset for the person that's a gamer. You plug this up to your PC or your Steam Deck or your Nintendo Switch or whatever it is, and you just basically game with them. That's what they're meant for. You can remove the the boom microphone, and just kind of use it as is if you want to go outside, but keep in mind they're not Bluetooth. You are going to have to use the physical 3.5 headphone jack or like a USB-C to C if you have a particular phone. My suggestion though, here's the problem with my wife's device. She has an S24 FE. It didn't work for her for whatever reason with USB-C to USB-C, but for my Motorola device, the Moto Edge 2025, it works perfectly fine for me, and it connects really without an issue seamlessly. So it's going to vary, but again, this is more so a headset that SkullCandy made primarily for PC and computer gamers. That's what it's really meant for, or console gamers or things like that. Now, on the back of it, you do have the physical button right here, which this is the on and off button right here. You can turn it on. It's a battery inside of it, but nothing's going to happen regardless. I think I might have mentioned this earlier in the video, but I'm just going to say it again just for, you know, reasons. And right here, you have the volume button, which if you press this inward, it actually changes the equalizers by itself. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I do like that. And outside of that, there's no other real functionality. Oh, as a matter of fact, right here, see this right here? You can peel this sticker off, but I left it on for review purposes. This, if you press it in, this is actually a mute button. It'll let you know that the headset is currently muted. So if you click it by accident, it'll let you know it's muted. You tap it again to basically unmute it. And lastly, we have the USB on the bottom, which is the headphone jack, the charger cable, and then this right here is where the microphone actually goes. And I want to go ahead and plug that in so you guys can see how that, right here, see how that fits. Here we go. And that is how that fits right there. So this is a pretty cool headset in itself, and again, for the asking price of what I got it for, $24, definitely worth the asking price. So there's a high probability that anyone that purchases this headset, you're going to have an issue with the SkullCandy application that's on the PC itself. I actually went into the Windows Store, downloaded the SkullCandy gaming application. It's not working. I even went to the SkullCandy website, downloaded their software. Nothing works for this particular headset. I even looked at some of the reviews on the application, and some people said that they bought this exact headset and they have a problem where it's not connecting to their PC, allowing them to change the actual equalizers or settings. Now, what the application is supposed to do, because I have a video in the background and it's showing me, so I'm going to break it down to you guys. It actually allows you to allow the game to be a little bit louder or the chat to be a little bit louder, like depending on, it's like a slider that allows you to do that. You can have some settings. Let me pull it up right here. You can have a setting where it's side tone, so it'll actually lower the volume that's happening around you in the game, like a kind of noise cancellation effect. You have microphone inputs where you can change the volume of it, and you also have the maximum volume of the headset itself. It also has an option where you can do enhanced sound perception, ESP. You can reset it, and it has different equalizers that you could actually switch to. Now, here's the good thing. For the person out there that may purchase this and say, I wanted to be able to use the custom EQs, you still can. As a matter of fact, I'm recording on the HyperCats S microphone, so let me take this off. On the back of this headset, there's a knob right above the blue button right here, or the blue button. Right above the button right here, there is a knob. If you scroll it up and down, it's for volume, and if you press it in, it changes your equalizers automatically for you. The only downside is you won't be able to do a custom EQ because you can't really change it because you need the application in order to do so. But outside of that, you can still use the other preset ones that they have. And I'm going to press it and tell you which ones are available. So the first one is FPS mode, first person shooter mode for like the gamers playing Call of Duty and gun games basically. You have an RPG mode, click it again. You have a music mode for the third one. Custom EQ mode, but I can't actually customize it because the application isn't working, go figure. You have a default mode, and that's pretty much it. So yeah, you can still click this button in and be able to change the features inside of it, and it will sound a little bit different. The headset itself does sound pretty good. It's unfortunate that I wasn't able to get the software actually working, but again, it is what it is. So if you still find this headset for $24 like I did inside of the store, it's definitely worth the asking price with the level of quality that the microphones have. But outside of that, you know, it's a shame that I can't use the application itself, but maybe there'll be some form of update to fix that problem. So we'll see. Right off the bat, if you're a SkullCandy user and you like SkullCandy products and you're used to their sound and profile, you're going to like this headset a lot. The upside to it is it does have preset equalizers, which I talked about a little bit earlier in this video, and the sound is dramatically different depending on which equalizer that you choose to use. Me personally, I leave mine on music so I can hear the rich quality of the background instruments and the bass and everything mixing together. Now, I do want to say that with most SkullCandy headphones, it is extremely bass heavy, the other models. This one isn't. The bass still sounds really good, whether you're listening to the bass line inside of a song, whether you're playing death metal or rock music, it sounds really good. And if you switch over to video games, which is what I more so reviewed for this particular video, I actually play Axiom Verge, but I didn't put the video footage of the other games that I played, like Resident Evil 4, Dead Space Remake, Dragon Age, The Veilguard, and it was one other game that I tested on. It was Blasphemous 2 to be exact. All of them sound very, very good. And remember, because it has that connection where it's directly connected from cord to headset, I didn't have to worry about any stutter or lag or anything when it came to the quality that I heard. In addition to that, because it has that boom microphone attached to it along with the quality, you're actually able to really get into what it is that you're doing. Like my wife would walk into the room and I didn't even know she was there because I had the headphones turned up and I was just enjoying the ambiance of what the game had to offer. So if you're buying this strictly for the performance, I think it's going to perform very, very well. For the original price tag of like $60, I think it's definitely worth it. Would have been nice if it had the Bluetooth feature. I'm just going to throw that in there because I do think that this could have had Bluetooth and it would have been an even better headset, but there is a newer model that does have Bluetooth. Substantially more expensive, by the way, but this is more so the entry level headset where if you decide to use this for not only microphones, but just music consumption or just recordings or editings and things like that, it pretty much is the jack of all trades, not necessarily a master of any, but you know, sometimes you don't need a master. You just want something that works outside the box as is, and this is it. So this is the level of quality that you're going to get with the microphones if you decide not to use the boom stick microphone, which I can attach this later and I'll do a test for you right after this one. So if you're going outside, if you're traveling, if you're a person where you don't really care about Bluetooth headsets and you want to use this in everyday scenarios, then you can do that. You can just plug it up to your phone or tablet through however means, whether it's USB-C to USB-C,
or 3.5 headphone jack to 3.5 headphone jack, and this is the level of quality that you're going to get. I am currently recording on OBS, change the microphone so that this is the input or the output that you hear. Again, this is the level of quality that you're going to get. Now, this is a recording with the boomstick microphone actually attached. If you notice, it sounds a lot louder, in my personal opinion. I think that the voices are much sharper, especially when you're talking to other people. I did have a couple video calls just to kind of test it out when I was on Discord and just having conversations with recordings. And again, it sounds more focused because the microphones are right here rather than the headset itself. If I'm being honest with you, I think that you're actually supposed to use this headset all the time with the actual boomstick microphone. That's what about to say developers. Yeah, I'll say developers. That's what the creators probably intended. But you do have the option to use it with or without. But if you're going outside in inclement weather, take the microphone out, because what's going to happen is that the wind is going to hit the microphone and it's going to cause a lot of interference. So just kind of keep that in mind. But if you're working from home, if you're a person that has some type of business and you talk to other people and you want a better clarity, the boomstick is going to give you that.
So there are 3 ways to actually connect this headset, and it's a little odd how they did this. I don't know why they did it this way, but I'm going to explain it to anyone that's curious about this headset. So the first method is 3.5 headphone jack to 3.5 headphone jack. Everyone has seen this before. If you have a tablet or a computer or a laptop or anything that uses this, as soon as you plug it into the headset, it's going to automatically work with sound. You're good to go. You don't have to worry about nothing. Now, it gets a little bit tricky when you use USB-C to USB-C. Now, I have a Samsung cable. This is USB-C to USB-C. I plugged it up to this headset, and then I plugged it up to my phone because my phone doesn't have a headphone jack. When you plug it up initially, nothing's going to happen. So what you have to do is hit the on switch, which is on the left-hand side. It's the blue switch right here. You flip this up. It'll actually say power on. There's no Bluetooth in this. So there is a battery in here, but there's no Bluetooth. I don't know. Again, I don't know why they did that. But you need to turn it on in order for it to work with your phone. So let's say you're using an Android tablet that only has USB-C. You have to plug it up, turn it on, and then it will work. Now, when I plug this up to my computer has a 3.5 headphone jack, works just fine. But also, I use this cable, which also comes with it, USB-C to USB-A. For anyone that doesn't know what USB-A is, you've seen this cable everywhere in the world. Everything uses it for the most part. This is USB-A. When I plugged it directly to the computer, instead of using a headphone jack, no sound came out. So again, anything that uses USB-C, you're going to have to use the blue on button right here, turn it on after plugging it in, and then it should automatically connect so that you can get sound and voice and all that stuff. Again, I don't know why they did that, but this is how SkullCandy made this particular headphones. It's very confusing at first until you use it. I had to try different devices to figure it out. Now, here's the curveball. I tried my Steam Deck. Plug it up, headphone jack to headphone jack on the Steam Deck, worked instantly. When I plugged up USB-C to USB-C, did not work. It still powered on and everything because it has a power source, but no sound came out. I even went to the settings and tried to switch it around to try to see if I can get the input through USB-C. It did not work. So some devices will only work for 3.5 headphone jack. So I haven't tried a Nintendo Switch because I don't currently own a Nintendo Switch. I didn't try a PlayStation or anything like that because I don't own those systems. I'm primarily a PC user. And with the devices that I use, the consensus that I came to is that if you're using an Android tablet that has USB-C and no headphone jack, you are going to hit the on button and you're going to plug it into USB-C to USB-C. That's simple. If you have a headphone jack, you will not need to use that power button. You can just plug it in. It's going to work as is. So just keep that in mind. I know this part was long-winded and it sounds confusing, but if you need a refresher, just come back to this part of the video and just pay attention to what I'm saying, because once you get used to it, you'll understand. So for $24.99 at your local Ross store, or if you go to like a Burlington and they happen to find this, it's definitely worth picking this headset up. The microphones, in my opinion, are clear enough. You can have phone conversations with it, should have no issues. You can have conference calls. If you're working from home, this microphone will work for you, and it's clear enough in my personal opinion, especially with the boom microphones. The battery life is 20 hours roughly with the headset if you turn that on, but while it's plugged up, it's charging anyway, so You don't really have to worry about anything. It's weird the way they did the battery situation. They should have just made it Bluetooth altogether, and that would have pretty much solved the problem, but they decided not to do that. I guess it was an experiment, and I don't think they'll do this again. But with that being said, it's not really a big deal to me. I don't mind using headphones with the cord, especially when I'm sitting in front of my computer. It doesn't have to be wireless, and I like the fact that I don't have to worry about a connectivity issue because USB-C to USB-A is perfectly fine. When it comes to the fit and feel, I do wish that this little strap, after using a little bit longer, was cushioned a lot more. They should have added more to that for maximum comfort. You can feel a tad bit soreness on the top of your head if you wear it for long periods of time, so make sure it's loose on the sides. But when it comes to the cuffs on the sides and stuff, everything is, you know, for the most part, pretty good as an experience. $60, that's the regular price. I'm going to leave it up to you, the consumer, to decide that, because I'm just a reviewer that buys stuff for cheaper all the time. So maybe I'm a little out of touch when it comes to pricing. But again, if you can find it for $24.99, definitely worth it. Pick it up. Even if not for you, get it for somebody else. They'll thank you because it's a really good headset, especially if you have younger children that have tablets or other stuff like that. There are ways for them to use it. You don't have to worry about necessarily charging it, because whatever device you're using, it's going to end up charging automatically if it's USB-C to USB-C. If it's connected to your computer, power is going to go straight to the headset, so it's going to charge it while it's on. But if you have the 3.5 headphone jack, you're good to go. You don't even have to worry about battery. Anyway, like and subscribe like always, guys. Hopefully this review helped you. I know there's a lot of reviews out there that talk about products, but I don't think many people talk about the practical use. Anybody can say something sounds good, but the question is, do you really need it? And do you really want to spend $60 on this product? Personally, I say shop around. But again, if you find it in a local department store for under $30, $24.99, it is definitely a steal. Anyway, I will see you guys in the next video. Till then, take care. Peace. God bless. And I'll see y'all in the next one. And I totally did the peace sign after the fact that I said peace. I'm going to work on that. I'm going to get my timing right. Anyway, I'll see you in the next one.